teacups, what's brewing? Welcome back to the channel and to my second attempt at this video because I realised 13 minutes in that I hadn't pressed screen record because it's that kind of night. It's already 9:30 on a school night and I decided to react to this instead of recapping it, which was probably stupid, but let's just do it, eh? I'll try and be a bit faster than I usually am. Just to preface all of this entire video is a pack of lies that later she cops to a little bit. So spoiler alert, but I'll point out where the lies are as we go. This lady probably would have preferred not to be on screen. If I weren't pointing this out, I probably wouldn't have put her on. She's pixelated, which is at least something, but hey now. Notice the buttons on Foodie's abaya. It's because it's one of the abayas she bought while in Kuwait, while technically, according to her, already married. Remember, they went abaya shopping? It's that one. So this definitely happened the first day she was here when she claimed to be married, you guys. I'm also going to put in a picture of the live she did after this, where her makeup is identical right down to the crooked top lip line. I'm gonna have to have this music. It's not as bad as her music usually is. This is just a picture of her ring, because remember she was presenting this all as her wedding day. Obviously she's been wearing that ring for a while and she doesn't have the nail polish on that she had the first day she was there. Do you remember that awful kind of beige cream colour that she thought was modest? It's not on her nails anymore, despite the fact that it's in the wedding picture that she posted after she got there. A wedding ring picture.
We are today in the court and we are wedding.
We are wedding, which I don't blame him for not being able to say it with correct English, but I did think maybe it was saying we are waiting for a minute, but I think he did say wedding. They're in a courthouse, I'll give them that. And she does describe the process a little bit later, which makes me think they probably went to court today, but I don't know who she thinks she's fooling in terms of this being done legally at all, and we will talk about it.
مبروك مبروك صلاح and Chantal. مبروك إن شاء الله مبروك.
I want to know who that is behind the camera. If they did what they're claiming to do, they would have needed 2 witnesses, and she does confirm later that they had 2 witnesses, which is connected to something I want to say later actually. But we're obviously just getting whoever's behind the camera. It's hardly proof positive. Oh, congratulations, while standing there. Is it Murad? I don't know any of the other friends. They're obviously on the outs with Allah. So I'm guessing Murad, who according to Foodie is the one that kind of didn't but kind of did, but it's impossible for him to do it but under the table and shh, he can get you papers, kind of a thing. So I guess he's got no choice but to commit to it, because if he gets caught, the consequences are going to be a lot more serious for him than it's going to be for her.
Thank you.
Shukran.
مبروك مبروك مبروك. Hello guys, we just finished from the marriage contract and we are going home to celebrate.
So is the marriage contract the certificate that you get, you know, that's usually nice in kind of a embossed paper, nice official stamp thing you have on it? It's very pretty. People tend to value them, you know, quite stiff paper. Is that meant to be the rolled up piece of A4 in that plastic protector in his hand? Because I can't see either of them carrying anything else, and he's not exactly treating it like it's precious, is it? And Salah, honey, while we're here, you love yourself so much, you couldn't have put on a suit? You put on the 70s disco suit to go to the cinema the other day. You couldn't have wore a suit to the courthouse for your own wedding?
Yalla.
Wedding party.
Wedding party. Remember Allah said that they didn't see her for 2 weeks after she arrived?
Hi guys, so I just decided to put together a few snaps of our courthouse wedding Beeze. I know it doesn't look like much to some, but for us it meant everything. It was very special.
Note her use of past tense to try and make it seem like it was longer than 5 hours ago.
Because well, for me at least, I was marrying my soulmate. And I know Salah feels the same way. And mashallah, mashallah, I am so happy. And I just want to share a little bit with you guys. We went to a courthouse. It was not a religious wedding. It was just done at the court.
I wasn't under the impression that that was possible. I thought you had to have a religious component before the wedding, but it's not at all on the priority list of things wrong with this video, so we're just going to let it go today.
We're more focused on the legal side of things, just being legally married.
Well, you know, trying to do it illegally, I'm sure that would be a focus.
And we'll have a wedding at some point, maybe in the future, inshallah. So for now, this is all we decided we're comfortable with showing you.
What, the outside stairs? Which is just me being sarky because she does show more. Bear in mind how much Chantal has shown, more than she should have. She talked about more than she should have multiple times. But somehow the legal process, which is easily found online, that's the thing that's sacred to her after everything else. Not presenting herself well online with his friends, not, you know, not breaking defamation laws in Kuwait. But this moment right here that should be very easy to share.
People will just have to keep speculating and accusing us of being fake married. That's fine with us.
It's not speculation if it's real, darling. And it's not even, I'm not speculating you're fake married. I'm not alleging you're fake married. I'm telling you, you're not fucking legally married. You're not. Oh, and now I've said the F word and it's 7 minutes in. Maybe YouTube will forgive me. But, I don't know, I've heard they've gotten serious recently. But you're not married. I'm not alleging that. It's not slander. You're not married because it's not legally possible when you're on a tourist visa, which you are. So all this talk of maybe there was a back way and she sent him a copy of her passport. So what? What do you think that's going to do? You know, like, so this idea that there were loopholes that Murad got them through with his employment, she can't be employed on a tourist visa. And she came in on it, and I will prove it in a second.
We have decided that we will not be showing any kind of personal marriage contract.
Because it would be fake.
Number one, that's not anyone's business. And number two...
Actually, sorry, catch myself. They obviously went to the courthouse to... Try that again. I'm not even going to edit that out because I don't have time. They've obviously been to the courthouse today. And may even have presented some kind of fake documents to be able to register the contract today. But this only would have been today. And it would still be illegal because it would be under false pretenses. Yeah? There is no timeline, no set of paperwork, no circumstances under which Foodie can get married with her status in Kuwait. So in a minute when she says, you know, we're not going to be discussing it, yeah, I fucking bet you're not.
I just don't feel comfortable with that kind of personal information being circulated online. So that will be our personal information. And also I will not be sharing personal information like my status here in Kuwait and things like that.
Yeah, because the further she gets into this lie, the more she realizes how easy it is to disprove, which is why she's doubling down here. Fortunately, she's got the memory of a goldfish, and KFC Foodie Beauty was a lot more open with it. So let me just put that here.
Nico, I'm not employed here. I'm a Canadian on a tourist visa, and my employment, I'm self-employed with my YouTube channel, basically. So it's not, I'm not working here. On a tourist visa.
Now, the reason she was discussing that is because something that's come up a few times from a few people, like people have asked me in comments or they've made suggestions that, or accusations to her that she shouldn't be working in Kuwait, which she definitely shouldn't be, but that YouTube counts as work in Kuwait and it doesn't. So I just want to clear that up because you can YouTube from anywhere unless you're being hired commercially to do something that would involve YouTube. She's fine to do it. She can film content, she can upload content. None of the money comes through Kuwait. So when she actually says, look, I'm self-employed, it's actually kind of true. And it really isn't the own that people think it is. It really isn't the mic drop. Like, she can do YouTube, it's fine. But in an attempt to defend herself on one front, she's completely contradicting lies she's told before. And this is really Foodie's problem. It's always Foodie's problem, is that she does too much. So instead of just telling one lie that's as close to the truth as she can get it and just sticking with it, she forgets the other lies she's told. So I'm on a tourist visa, but no, we had some loopholes through Murad's work. Those two things cannot be true at the same time. And she cannot get any other kind of visa because she'd have to go out, she'd have to be sponsored. And there's no way he's getting permission to sponsor her. And by he, I mean Murad, for employment reasons. Because he'd have to register. I debunked all this in my last react or two. So if you want more minute detail, please feel free to go back to those. But the fact is, it's not true. None of it's true. And that's why she's so vague. And that's why she was being so vague. But she slips and she tells people, you know, no, I'm on a tourist visa, which is the only possible way she could be in there. And then expects us to believe black is white.
But what we will do is just share a few snaps, like I said, of our day. So I will explain a bit of the process from my perspective. Basically, we had to go to this courthouse, and there were a lot of stairs to go up to get in. Then we went up to the floor where we had to wait to get to a courtroom. We did just... It was a bit of a process. You have to file for marriage and all this and that. And so I know there's going to be some details left out, but again, these are just personal things, and we...
Sorry if I'm being quiet. I'm letting her talk because I really want you to hear what she's saying, because later when she has to double back because she's been called out on so many things, I want you to know that there was no doubt in what she was implying, which was that they went to the courthouse, once they filed the stuff, they waited, they got married, which is the story she tried to tell.
We appreciate our privacy being respected. A lot of people just feel entitled to certain information, and it's just, no, we have a right to privacy.
You do, but then, you know, keep it offline. Keep it offline, yeah? If you're going to make a vlog telling us about your courthouse marriage, don't be shocked when people are talking about your marriage. If you're going to make a vlog about you going to Kuwait to marry the love of your life and then tell us a pack of lies about your status, don't be surprised if that's a topic of conversation.
So also, but there are some things I don't mind sharing with you guys. So also we got into the courtroom, and we stood in front of two judges, and they basically asked me, they wanted to make sure that I accepted the marriage with Salah, and that he did pay me the, I think they call it mahr, if I'm pronouncing that right. It's something that Muslims in most Islamic countries do.
Now, she specifies here we also have two witnesses. That's relevant to her community post later, okay? So just keep it in mind. The fact that she's being very detailed in how this happened, especially like the story about Salah having to explain about her lack of male relatives, I wonder actually what the procedure for that is, because there must be women who don't have male relatives here, because usually you need to have like a brother or a father or someone. And so I wonder how you don't do that. You know, I mean, she's saying they just explained it to the judge. There we go.
The husband has to pay legally, give a gift, monetary gift to the wife, and one during the marriage as well. So that's, I did, that's personal as well, but we agreed to. But it's every marriage that happens here. So also, they asked me where my father was, which really was an odd question to me, because it just really, but it, you know, it made me realize how important father figures are in the lives of women here. So as parental figures, the family structure is very, very sacred here. So you don't have many single parents, if, I don't know, if any, unless...
If any is a bit of a push, it certainly is rarer, particularly like women who get divorced. It's only really been in the last 5 years that they would like it's sensitive still. In the last 5 years that they would kind of admit to it, you know?
You know, even if women are widowed or whatever, or divorced, they usually seek another husband and vice versa. So usually the father is present to give the blessing for the marriage. So I had to explain that I don't talk to my father, and they just kind of looked at me sadly. So Salah had to explain for me. He's so supportive in ways I can't even tell you guys. And yeah, so I'm so happy, and this was an experience for sure. I don't know what else there is to say really.
Just gonna pause her. So the fact, those details make me think, did she go through some kind of ceremony today, right? And we'll get to the community post where she explains a little bit more, because she was getting called out to hell and back. Because here's the problem she has. There's no way for her to do this legally, which means if she went to court, she's gone from flying under the radar to submitting fraudulent paperwork. And those two things are like a different level, you know? So if she can't admit to that, but if today is the day they actually submitted the contract, then today is the day she's used a fake ID of some kind, because they would need her to be resident to do this. But I don't quite get how they would even do a fake one, because the point is all of your information is loaded into the car. Like there's a chip in it. It has things like your passport number and all the rest of it. So, and usually it's got your fingerprints. So it does have to be in the government system, which it can't be, because she's on a tourist visa, and she said she's on a tourist visa. So I'm not sure at this point exactly how she thinks she's done this, but it could just be a big fake out, like I said, because she's a good fan of doubling down, isn't she?
I guess just that we had to wait for a bit in the courtroom. Outside of the courtroom is what you see some of the snaps of, and then inside the courtroom. And I know there's a lot of confusion as to, well, the status and all this, and the actual dates of marriage.
There is zero confusion about that. You were not married. And that's ultimately it. If they did something today that caused them to go to the courthouse that was not something to do with Allah and she just faking it because she was there, if it was something to do with a marriage contract, then it's happening now, which means she spent nearly 3 months living with a man that she was not married to, which is illegal in Kuwait. So again, it comes down to her stacking her lies. She can have one or she can have the other, and neither are actually correct for what she should be doing. Both will screw her over in different ways. It's just a case of pick your poison. But as I say, Foodie always thinks that she's the smartest in the room, but actually she's very easily fooled. So things that sound reasonable to her don't sound reasonable to other people, but in the arrogance of assuming that she's smarter than everyone else, she'll deliver it because she would believe it.
The actual contract of marriage, but those are all things that most people don't show online whenever they get married. They usually...
Bullshit. Nuh-uh. You're telling me if people are comfortable being on social media that they wouldn't show off their certificate? It's the legal thing of saying they're married.
To show the wedding ceremony. We didn't have one as of yet. Again, it was just it was a very quick courthouse wedding for now. But inshallah, in the future, we will organize some kind of party. So it was just low key, and we celebrated with friends after, friends and family.
Remember, Allah said they didn't see her for 2 weeks after she arrived. So if she celebrated with friends and family, and then she came home and she did a live where she said she had a headache and she'd been busy all day and she was just trying to have a quiet meal with you guys. So she filmed this today. When did this celebration happen?
Afterwards in private. But that's basically all we did for the time being. And we will, if we do have some kind of celebration in the future, that we can make public, we will. But there's a lot in my life now that I'm keeping private, and
you should probably keep more of your illegal activities private. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, if you're going to go with no privacy is best, maybe stop admitting to illegal shit first.
marriage details, I think you can appreciate, especially with the amount of sleuths we have online.
Sleuths. You don't have to look that hard. This is not as clever as you think it is.
Very invasive. The internet can be very invasive, so we just really think it's in our best interest to keep a lot private. But we did want to share a little bit of the day with you. So it was a very nice day, very special to marry my soulmate.
Very nice day, very special to marry him. One day, singular.
And I couldn't be happier. I couldn't have asked for a more supportive husband in every single way. And I feel very, very blessed. And I'm just going to try to take advantage of being positive and appreciate these blessings.
Remember, she was blocking people because she wanted a more positive experience after she got back from her ban, and then followed it up with a hit piece on FFG. And that stupid not Monty. What's the name of the guy? Your mama thing. But no, positivity all around.
That God has given. He's given me a wonderful man to take care of me, and as husband and wife, this is of course my first marriage, and may it be the only one in my life, inshallah. And thank you guys so much for watching this, and we will see you in the next video. Bye bye, ma salama.
So that was that. And then people started noticing some of the glaringly obvious continuity errors that we were seeing in the video, with the nails, with the abaya, with her makeup, with all of that, yeah? Foodie answered a comment on either, was it a video, was it something, I can't remember. Let me just open it up. I'll put it up on screen. She was, it's a pinned comment, I guess, under the video. The marriage contract process was long and we had to visit the court many times, but everything was finalised more recently, thus the abaya, etc. We are blocking invasive and rude, and I'm guessing hard to answer, comments. We don't feel we need to explain every detail of the process. And I was like, oh, very positive. Okay, I personally would try and use as few details as possible if I was lying this deeply, but that's probably what's going on here. So she wasn't best pleased, and the video did not make sense as she had presented it, which was, hey, we're getting married today. These are shots from the wedding, just to prove the haters wrong, I suppose. And again, the technical truth she loves, they said wedding. They never said that today was 3 months ago at any point. We're piecing all of this together, yeah? But Foodie has a tendency to get angry, get a little bit impulsive, shocking, I know, and tends to not be able to argue well when she's caught in a lie. So we did have some kind of community post later, and it got edited. New video. Okay, so here is a better explanation for the zombie cult. Our marriage took a while to finalise, as most legal matters do. We do not owe you anything. We do not owe people more than what we want to share. I am not that stupid. I know this is a newer abaya. I don't think she did. I think she convinced herself this would shut everybody up, and she didn't check the details, as she has a history of not doing. We filed for marriage and had a contract for a while now, but we had to finalise things. Well, then you didn't have a contract. You're married or you're not married. If it's not filed with the court, it's like being pregnant or not pregnant. There's no in between there. I wasn't even going to show any video. You probably shouldn't have. It's not going to help any. You can see why as people pick apart everything. Yeah, when there's glaringly obvious lies, people are going to pick that apart because they're glaringly obvious. Just be happy for people who are happy. The legal details don't matter to people who are not living our life and don't know anything about it. I know quite a lot about it. I'm just going to put that out there. I've lived in 7 countries now, and I am experienced living in the Middle East. It's not a linear process like most marriages when both people are from the same country. I turned off the comments for now because I'm seriously getting sick of YouTube altogether and the constant need to defend everything I do against the horde of mindless zombies and miserable people. Funny how people like FFG don't even have a man, Yeah, let's throw that back, because God knows you got nothing. And you lied to your audience about that. I have no clue. It doesn't matter for the sake of this, but deflect, and can sit on their flat behinds and chain smoke and screech and speculate on the status of our marriage as if they know anything when they don't. Well, I'm not doing those things except speculating, which is bringing receipts. No one does. Not true. We have been to the courthouse many times. Why? The process for it is file the paperwork, show up, do the ceremony. Why would the court stretch that out? Now, I can believe they may have had problems filing paperwork at the very beginning, but bear in mind this process we're hearing. We go, we file it, we do the thing. Do you think they could do that without making an appointment of some kind? Because you book it online. I went and checked on the Kuwaiti Ministry of Justice. You think she could have done that in the day since she got there? I mean, if you wanted to speculate like a tourist visa was not a thing and she could get married, because let's not forget, all of this discussion we're having, the tourist visa invalidates everything. But he could have booked it, I suppose, if we wanted to get technical. But come on. We've been to the courthouse many times and I decided to take some snaps of the most recent. Well, that's not what you were presenting. We had to go a few times for different reasons in different sessions, like to bring witnesses, etc. But you said you had 2 witnesses. In your video just there, you said, I had to do this, I had to do this, I had to do this, and we also had 2 witnesses. Why the back and forth? You said you had them. As we had to do things a bit differently because of my status. No, you couldn't do things because of your status, or you faked something and you faked having a different status. There's no option C there. Either you're a liar or you're a fraud. There's no in between. Pick your poison, darling. It has different consequences, but pick it. And there we have it. That's what Foodie's been doing. I'm sure we'll get a little bit more rage because she can't win telling this story. Because when I say it's a pack of lies, it's a thick pack of lies. And there's no way she's going to keep straight all the details. And it's going to drive her crazy when people come and say, well, this isn't true for these reasons. Because, when it comes to facing cold, hard truths, she doesn't do too well. So expect a lot of deflection, expect a lot of anger, maybe some more community posts. But what she really, really needs to do, as any somewhat sensible person would, which may be the problem here, if you're going to do stuff that you're not allowed to do, stop broadcasting it online. Come on now. Just stop sharing it. You know your audience, you know they're generally against you. You have to let go of your need for the attention and your need for the coupledom and your need to show nada. Otherwise, you're going to end up breaking something here. Yeah, you're going to end up barred from the country, arrested for fraud. You're going to end up with consequences that are actually serious. And it's going to completely screw you. Because it doesn't take a lot to completely screw Foodie financially, even if it ends up being a fine. And if they're married, what's going to happen to Salah? What's going to happen to Murad, who somehow procured these documents? And again, this is assuming this is true, which I am maybe at this point like 595 on the I don't think it's true. But she presented it a little better this time if you weren't aware of the visa processes. Not really related to this, but I suppose related to her trip back. And because I've been meaning to put it into a video and just kind of forgot. Speaking of financials, someone posted something on Discord and tagged me in it and was saying that Foodie is on her 2nd bankruptcy, right? That's what her court date is when she gets back to Canada. She's got to go to court about her bankruptcy. And someone made the point that the 1st and the 2nd bankruptcy get discharged automatically. So if she's going to court, it's because the person she's supposed to be working with or the Canadian Revenue Agency have objected to the discharge of the bankruptcy because she either hasn't been working with them correctly, which I could believe, or hasn't paid her taxes, which I could believe. So that is separate from this, an interesting thing that we can see what happens on. All right, guys, I need to edit this down real quick. So thank you for listening, but don't be fooled into thinking anything has changed. Because even if somehow she's weaseled her way into having a piece of paper that's not handwritten in crayon, it's still illegal and she's still getting out of there. All right, thank you very much, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.